Hello, guys. Welcome back to S3D, and this is something I need to discuss because, this is becoming a problem for me. I think a lot of people have recently signed up for Mercari because of me, and seems like a lot of people are not very satisfied with this platform. And I actually do need to address this issue because this is kind of like a situation that completely opened my eye about this whole social media situation. I want to start off by quoting a certain comic book character, Harvey Dent. I think this is from the Christopher Nolan Batman movie, from The Dark Knight. Basically, he quoted, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, right? I feel like this is actually that kind of situation. So essentially, for Macari, I actually did a previous video, but I rant on too long about stuff that's irrelevant, and people told me I need to condense the video and edit it because nobody's gonna watch like a 10-minute plus video about you bullshitting on things that's kind of nothing to do with Macari, right? So I'm gonna focus everything about Macari, and I feel like what's happening and what's going wrong with this company, and maybe you guys can see a more clear picture. All right, so when I started promoting Macari, I think I actually heard it from Jedi Patrol, another YouTuber who does like high-end collectibles. I thought the company was very innovative. There's a lot of innovation here. Like they're doing a lot of things that eBay wasn't doing, right? And I started using them, and I started reaping the benefits. And while I was reaping the benefits, a lot of people around me was also reaping the benefits. From the referral codes. They're very generous about that, and then there's also they've been giving out a lot of coupon codes to everybody. Essentially, we have gotten a lot of free stuff over the years. But, a lot of people did not jump into this Macari game until like way later, like 2022, 2023. And by then, a lot of things have changed. There seems to be much less generous about the coupons. There were a lot of glitches where people are not getting their referrals, the $50 referral fees and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's like night and day difference. And it has only gotten worse in 2024. But when 2024 came around, they implemented this new policy, no seller fee, right? Seems amazing at the time. People have no idea how they're going to make money without the seller fees. And as it turned out, essentially, how they cover that is by making the buyers pay the to cover the fees. There's a new thing called buyer's fee. Now, this is something that's non-existent on other platforms. Uh, Essentially, I think like everybody's sales, including my own, has fallen off a cliff. It just hit rock bottom. It's been like that for like 5 months now. So, like it's really bad. And I actually gave up doing consignments because of it. Because I'm not selling anything. So it's like I can't even sell my own stuff basically. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I decided this hobby is not sustainable because a lot of times I cycle through my things in order to buy new things. But after doing some like mental inventory, I kind of decided over the years of my past hobbies, I'm actually doing the same thing for like therapeutic reasons, which is highly ineffective. And again, I'm ranting on. This actually have nothing to do with that, so I need to stop. A lot of fingers are being pointed at the CEO right now, this guy. And I feel like people's argument are kind of legitimate because, all the evidence pointing to this guy being, your typical tech CEO with too much tech money and just, like, like whatever. It is just ridiculous, right? I'm looking at this investigation. This is like more like a personal issue of this guy's character than what's really happening with the company. But if a guy would hire a spokesperson to lie about his personal issues, That kind of speaks volume about his character. And then when you have like a shady character running a company, things are just not looking good, in my opinion. So yeah, a lot of fingers are being pointed at this guy. Also, keep in mind, the U.S. branch basically just lay off 50% of their workers last week. So now the customer service is even worse. Um, yeah, honestly, I feel kind of ashamed to be promoting them, especially people who have signed up with them recently. You're probably not seeing any of the benefits that people are seeing in 2020, 2021. It was actually amazing. I have sold over like almost 2,000 items on just 2,000 items. Okay, no, not that. That's exaggeration. I think like 200 plus complete sales. I think close to 300 items. Yeah, yeah. I think around 260 something, 270, close to that number. But that's still pretty much, that's a lot. I saw a lot of high end stuff on Mercari too. So, and I never really had any issues. They are actually a lot better with like people who trying to falsely return your item versus eBay. But I was told recently, oh, that has changed. Essentially, they have become more and more like eBay. Essentially, I think people can actually just like return your stuff without any no questions asked, which I feel is kind of ridiculous, and I might need to look more into that because if that's the case, then maybe I don't even want to sell off the rest of my stuff on Mercari. Better I'll just either donating it or keeping it. Oh man, this is a disaster. Some people saying like, well, you just like ruined your own reputation by promoting this company. Well, here's a couple of things. Um, what I want to say is like, I think this is the kind of thing that's like baked into the social media cake. I think everybody had to go through this at some point. The longer you stick around social media, the more you're gonna be susceptible to this kind of problems. It just ruins your reputation completely, and then make everybody hate you. Uh, think about this. Like when I promoted this company, they were doing well, and then everybody was reaping benefits, and then over the years, things fall off a cliff. I really have no control what the CEO does, what the company's going through, stuff like that. It's funny because, you have all these like people who's being accused of being freaking fake gurus and scammers on social media, like Red Stefan, right? Me, Kevin, all these guys. They were once promoting these crypto currency exchanges that were once, had like a good mission and people were actually making money. And then when things like fall off a cliff like FTX, all of a sudden all these guys are labeled as scammers getting sued. I feel like this is actually the exact same situation. And being actually involved in this kind of situation now, I actually have a better understanding of how this game is played. Maybe none of these people are actually horrible people. They just, it's like, dude, it's people posting bullshit content on social media, trying to convince people that, you know, they're important. I think that's basically the name of the game, and then eventually at some point, they start getting these sponsor deals for easy money. I feel like when it comes to personal benefits, it's basically a free for all. I seen the personal benefits from promoting this company. I seen how much people are buying from the stores, and I feel like, well, you know what? Let's keep riding this gravy train, right? Until it stops. But yeah, there are actual consequences. All like none of these things are without their consequence, and I feel like at this point, I kind of realize, yeah, this is probably another very good reason to like step away from this. It's eventually, you're gonna end up becoming like the more popular you become on social media, the more people are watching your stuff. you just end up conditioning yourself to become more and more like those other guys, regardless of how many subscribers you have. It's the mindset that changes people. And yeah, it's very shameful. But I also want to say, like, honestly, I have no control of how this company is run. I don't know, like, any details about the CEO until recently. And this is a guy who's running the show. He's calling the shots. He's laying off the people. And he's making these, tough decisions, whether to benefit the company or to like destroy the company. And I feel like this is the latter situation. So yeah, it's all bad. So yeah, essentially, I think at this point, I completely give up on consignment sales. I do want to touch up on the consignment sales because I was actually warning quite a few people about some recent development that is actually very serious. So yeah, this is actually, this last part is unrelated to Mercari, but I need to tell you guys this because a couple of months ago, let's just say the government reach out to me. They reach out to like a lot of sellers on Mercari and eBay who does consignment sales, warning us about potential stolen goods that are being sold via consignment sales. So apparently there's this criminal group. I don't know if they're individuals or they're like an organized group, but they've been stealing from big box stores. They've been breaking into retail stores like comic shops and stuff like that, and they've been stealing popular items, and they're using online sellers, people who does consignment sales, to move these popular items. Now, the telltale sign with these group of people is like they're very overly generous about the compensation. They've been offering people up to 50% of the value of an item for the consignment. So they'll give you like a pack of cars for like $20, right? If you sell it, you can keep $10, and they just want $10. And, to some people, that's a red flag, because it's too good to be true. Like they're actually losing money on these cards if they're even buying them on wholesale. Well, the reason for that is because these things are being stolen. And actually, I don't want to name anybody specifically, but apparently, from what I was shown, there are actually a lot of YouTubers who are actual thieves themselves. These are the people who are stealing from these stores, posting content like recklessly on their social media, showing off stuff that they have stolen, and they're using that, the clout to get people to go to these Mercari stores to buy these stolen goods. Now the funny thing is, according to the government, if you're selling stuff for these individuals, if you get caught selling it, you can be, tried as an accomplice or charged as an accomplice, and that's a lot of legal fees. Even though you don't have access to the item, you are not the one doing the stealing. You're just moving the stuff for the guy. You could be, guilty guilty by association, and that to me is really ridiculous. I think it's just completely not worth it, and yeah, definitely something to watch out for. So anyway, shame on the CEO guy, man. The more I look into it, the more I feel less confident about this Mercari company. I don't know what they can do. Usually when something bad like this happens, they end up just getting like a random guy from Japan to come to the U.S. to replace the CEO, and the Japanese officer, the executive, probably don't understand how U.S. company functions, and further run the company into the ground because they trying to run a U.S. company like a Japanese company, and then it just blows up. So I don't know. Maybe it's time for them to seek out new talent here to do something about this company because right now nothing's working on Mercari. It's essentially broken, and I'm actually really shameful to be promoting it at this point. I want to apologize to all the people who recently signed up for Mercari because they seen my older videos. Uh, while a lot of things I said in those videos are true, it actually doesn't hold true anymore at this point, unless they change their policy and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.